Hey guys, and welcome back to the Fabled Academy. Today we'll look at a draft that I played this week at my local armory. And again, I played Verdance. So I drafted Verdance in the set Rosetta. It's my third time actually drafting Rosetta, and it's my third time playing Verdance. I really like her playstyle. I really like the cards that you can choose to pick into deck. And I also like the mix-in of Arcane damage and also with Verdance's hero ability, because you can shoot an arcane every time that you gain life during your own turn when Verdance is online, so when you have decomposed 2 times. And that is something that I really like to utilize in the deck. And I have to say I played 2 drafts this week. The first one wasn't that great. I went 0-3 actually. I made some horrible mistakes in picking the packs. Picking the cards from the packs. Also made some very bad decisions in playing the games out during the tournament. I recorded everything though, so I want to look at it, record it, and upload it here to YouTube. So if you're interested in more draft content, definitely subscribe to the Fabled Academy here. And if you're new to this channel, my name is Alex. I'm so happy that you're joining today. And also, when you're playing a Flesh and Blood Armory, Flesh and Blood players, of course, know this, but you get these beautiful Armory promos that you can only get by participating in these tournaments. And this time I got the Rootbound Carapace. It's amazing. I really like this artwork. The extended art is so great. The foiling looks nice. And it's actually worth 3 to 4 euros. So you'll get something back by just participating in the tournament. And I think that's super great. Without further ado, let's just jump into the video. And I will just play back the recording that I did at the tournament. And we'll look at the first pack. And I think the first pack, just right before we look at the cards that are in here, I think the first pack is always very interesting because I had in mind that I wanted to go towards a Verdance because I wanted to play her again. But the first pack just always gives you like an insight of where do you want to go, where can you head towards. And so I always look for the power cards in beginning, as every drafter, I would say. I got a little cold foil in the beginning. That's pretty nice. Hold focus. And then also, friend of mine, shoutouts to Christoph, he pulled the Lightning Greaves and Rainbow Foil just 3 seats away from me. So starting off, it's a sign to play Withered for me just by pulling this Hold Focus. Pretty nice card when you play it in draft. Also beautiful cold foil. But now let's keep looking for the cards. And we have a really interesting Earth card here, Fruits of the Forest. Another banger for Earth, the Cadaverous Tilling in yellow. So this gives you a Decompose. 2 cards right off the bat that I think would be pickable for me. Just by looking at these 2, I wouldn't really know what I would pick here, but I think the Cadaverous Tilling would be the first pick for me here. But there are more cards in here. And there is another banger for Earth, Helm of Lignum Vitae. And I think in general, getting very good equipment is an edge that you can get in the draft. And so I'm just picking that to the front and considering it for my first pick here from the first pack. I have to say here, we have 3 cards that are interesting, and I really love the Decompose. Even the drafter to my left said in the tournament that he never passes on a Decompose. So let's see. I picked the Helm. I need to agree here. I can't agree here with my draft neighbor, but I think these 3 cards are just all amazing. But I think really Helm of Lignum Vitae or either the Cadaverous Tilling are the 2 more powerful cards. Fruits of the Forest is nice because you have a red here, so it attacks for 7 and has the versatility of then also having the discard effect. But I went with the Helm here actually because I thought, you know what, there are for sure some more Decompose cards coming. I need 3 at least, so that's like a number that I go for. At least 3, 4 are better. If you can get 5, that's amazing, but that's not always the case. But I thought, you know what, getting the Helm for me is the right choice here because I don't think I will see the Helm again in the draft. So I'm getting the next pack, and right off the bat there is another Cadaverous Tilling. It's a blue one, so it's not as good as the yellow one in my opinion when you want to attack with it, but it decompose off. And I think for me this is an easy call. I just take the Cadaverous Tilling. There is a Harvest aura here, the Harvest Season, the blue one, but Decompose is just much more important. So I just pick the Decompose, and let's go to the third pick. That is something actually while I was always shuffling my cards when I was giving them to my left draft partner, and that's something when I began to draft in Flesh and Blood I thought was pretty funny, because I thought like, why is everyone shuffling their cards? I mean, like, there's no point for me. And then when getting used to playing draft, I realized, okay, it's good to do that, because then you just get a little bit more difficulty for your draft partners out, because they also want to see like what cards are missing from the pack, and so they can't really count that easily. And that's just something that you get used to when playing draft. Actually, I'm also pretty lucky. I think I thought about drafting Verdance, then I got 2 good picks right from the beginning. But let's see. Sometimes there it is. This is something pretty insane here. I thought just the third pick, when this comes now, you will see there is another Helm of Lignum Vitae, and I thought like, this isn't possible, right? So I know that this, because it's my third pick now, this comes from the second partner from the right. So he is not really playing Earth, I think, if he didn't pick the Helm, or he did have another banger card. Maybe he had also a Decompose card that he chose, because there is no Decompose card here, I believe. When we look through the other cards that are in the pack, there is another Decompose. I forgot that totally. Sorry, guys. So there is another Decompose, and I thought that is a clear sign to me that my second partner to the right maybe not considering Earth as his pick, and also the right partner of myself is also maybe not playing Earth, because there's a Decompose and the Helm. So it's nearly identical to the pack that I opened. And if I didn't pick the Helm in the beginning, I would have 2 Decompose already and now get the Helm. But this way it's no difference, just that I have 2 Cadaverous Tilling here in blue now instead of a yellow one and a blue one. So I'm fine with that, but I'm passing a Helm to the left, so that's I know that my left partner want to go through Earth, because I think like he just considers Florian or Earth in general as the best draft decks here in Rosetta. And so I'm passing him the Helm, potentially giving him the edge here on the equipment. Now I have a Photon Splicing in red that I really highly consider as a pick, because it's a red one. It deals 4 damage, only costs 1. And I really like that you can discard it as an instant and get an amp 1. I really like that card in either color. But I think the red one and the blue one especially, those are the best ones to pick. And the red one might be even a little bit better if you want to go on the offense side. There's also Fruits of the Forest. And I have to say, I wasn't really aware in my first draft, so the draft before that one that we are looking at, of how important Fruits of the Forest can be if you don't pick it throughout the draft. And I had that in mind, so I was looking at Fruits of the Forest and was like, this is an important card for me. It's Earth, that is one thing. So I'm staying open, even when I don't go towards Verdance during my first pack. I am staying open to maybe even picking Florian if I take this Fruits of the Forest. So I just decided here to not take the Photon Splicing and take the Fruits of the Forest instead. For Verdance, it's a great card, I think, especially because you can just pitch it to amp 1 from your staff. And then later on in the game, when Verdance is online, get it back and just discard it for 2 life gain and 1 arcane damage. But honestly, looking back at this, I think Photon Splicing, in my opinion, would have been the much better pick here when even in my position considering going towards Verdance that much, because you don't really will see that many red photon splicing again. It's a rare, I believe. No, it's a common, but usually you don't see that many of these 4 arcane damage cost 1 wizard actions here. There is another one that we will also see throughout the draft, but there I think if there are other wizards in the pool, they will highly value this photon splicing, and the Fruits of the Forest maybe a pick later in the pack. So there is even the potential, I think, of the Fruits of the Forest coming back to me. I have to say we are 8 people in the draft here. I will also let you know soon what the hero picks for my other draft partners were, and let me think about it. It was 2 Verdants, it was 1 Aurora, it was 3 Auxilio. That was crazy, I couldn't believe it when seeing it, and 2 Florian. So yeah, I have to stop here because this is the card that could have saved me my last game, and I didn't pick it here even though I knew how important this card can be when going towards Wizard. But I thought like it's a little bit too early maybe for me. I wanted to look for another Earth card because this card can save you from getting fatigued by Florian when playing Verdance, and I think this is a key card. Even in red, it's, in my opinion, when you want to go and counter fatigue, Save the Thought in red is just such an amazing card, and I really, ich hab's bereut, as you say it in German, that I have not picked Save the Thought, because it shuffles back 3 of your cards, so you're gaining 2 additional cards into your deck when playing this. You're also gaining a Ponder, so you may be getting an Arsenal, depending on the state of the game. So you could even get an offensive side on this card. And this is a rare for sure. So even though it costs 2, I think this is a key card if you want to go towards Wizard, because you can lose to fatigue. Harvest Season, another Earth card. I really like Earth in general when looking at my first packs. But there's the Photon Splicing again in yellow. It only does 3 arcane damage, but still has the instant with discarding and amping 1. And then there is the Perennial Aether Bloom. It's also a nice card, I think, when I know I want to go towards Wizard. I'm not sure about Auxilio. I didn't play Auxilio yet, but when going towards Verdance, I always look on how many of these 0 cost 3 arcane damage cards I can get, and Perennial Aether Bloom is also a great card to counter fatigue, because if you amp it up and it does more than 3 damage, it also goes to the bottom of the deck, and that is fantastic. Honestly, like I said, considering here going towards Verdance, I should have picked Save the Thought because it's a rare in red. Usually I think I will not see this card again. Maybe it comes up in yellow or blue another time, but red is just the best card to counter fatigue. I'm not sure again which card I picked, but let us see which one I decide on in the end. I was really tempted with the Photon Splicing, I have to say, because I didn't get to pick it in the last pack. Maybe it was, having that in mind, but I really was considering Save the Thought here. I knew this was a great card. I picked it in my first draft, but it really didn't save me there, but that wasn't the problem. I have to say, in my first draft, it wasn't a problem that I had Save the Thought. I only had a yellow one, and I played it out, and I was like, yeah, okay, the yellow one was okay-ish, but I died to, not to fatigue in my first draft, but rather that I just couldn't put out enough damage and was overwhelmed by my opponents. So I'm getting Harvest Season here. Like I said, I'm considering Earth in the beginning highly to get enough Earth cards for my Verdance ability. So I think going with Harvest Season, looking at this in a retrospective, wouldn't be a good option. Save the Thought, definitely the best pick here in my opinion. Perennial Aether Bloom, okay. I'm picking that to the front. So you see how I decide on these cards. I really think about it. I get the best cards to the front. I think that is usually how you do it. Just sort the cards in order that you think are the priority for you, and I go with the Perennial Aether Bloom. And it came in clutch. Like I said, I recorded all the games. I want to also look at them with you, comment them, and then discuss them with you. And you will see there that I got, I think, 2 or 3 times the effect off on the go back to the deck. There's the Aether Quickening, another card like the Photon Splicing, costs 1, does 4 arcane damage, and has a search effect even. So you could get an go again here. We also have a Runaways. And I have to say, in the end, I only got 1 equipment here, and I didn't really see that many equipments that I could have choose, at least not the power ones. I'm looking for well-grounded, of course. I'm looking for the amp 1 hands for the wizard. But yeah, we will see. There's Exploding Aether here. I think this is a phenomenal card if you want to go towards wizard in either Verdance, and also I assume this would be a great card in Oscillio too. And spoiler alert, I picked Exploding Aether here. Like always, looking for the Earth cards, how many Earth cards are left, and what kind of Earth cards are getting passed towards me. There's only 1 here, the Harvest Season again. But for me, Exploding Aether has the most upside here. Let me know what you think about this card. I was pretty critical on it in the beginning, but then when I played the red one, I think the red one for me is the only one that I would play. And there it is. There's an ink-lined cloak. And I think this card is phenomenal for Oscillio, I think. But I'm not too sure about it for Verdance, actually, because you really have to play sigils to get the effect off. And I did that in my first draft. Like I said, subscribe to the channel if you want to see that too. It came good. Like, I had some sigils, but sigils were kind of bad for me playing Verdance, I have to say. And then the one resource wasn't really that much of an edge. So I decided against the Inkline Cloak here. I really like the card Arcane Twinning here. We have 2 of these in the pack, blue ones, a foil one and the non-foil. I love this card. In blue, I think it's great. In red, I think it's great. I would pick it if I can. And I just love it because it has the amp 1 effect, like the Photon Splicing, but it costs 0 if you have it in red. And I picked the Fruits of the Forest, I think. Let me just scroll back a little bit. I assume it was the Fruits of the Forest, right? Yeah, like I said, I want to prioritize getting Earth in the beginning, and I love with Verdance getting the Earth blue ones because I can pitch them, get the upside from the staff with getting an embodiment of Earth, and that is amazing. Honestly, the embodiments were so important when playing the games. It was really great against Florian in my last game, even though I lost there. But here we have a Fjarnald's Fighting Spirit, we have Pop the Bauble, and I consider Pop the Bauble to be such an amazing card because Florian is a killer, and even there is this Aura Malefic Incantation, and this one just crumbles you down over the turn of the game, because if he has a red one, that's crazy. If his ability of Florian is online, it just crushes you, and that's why I was okay. Pop the Bauble, it's a rare. It won't be coming up often, and maybe even if there is another aura that you want to get rid of. This could be good, but I think most of the auras that you want to get rid of, the Harvest Season in red, for example, is a great card to pop with this. But popping 1 Rune Chant isn't worth it. Popping the sigils that go off when leaving the arena isn't worth it with Pop the Bauble. So it's not always great, but it can be a great counter. And I'm also considering Fjarnald's Fighting Spirit in blue here. I like that card. I don't love it. I heard the opinion often that, you don't play the blue or the yellow ones, only play the red ones. But I think the blue one, it's nice. You can just pitch it to gain 3 resources. That's the first point. But then also when you're on the back foot, in the beginning, I usually lose some life with Verdance and then gain it back later in the game when my hero ability is online. And so when I have it early, I can block with it. I gain a life back. That's nice. And even when Verdance is online and you see this later in the game again, you attack with it when you have less life. Usually I don't have less life later in the game with Verdance, so the effect of my hero ability won't come off with Fjarnald's Fighting Spirit. But if that's the case, that's great. But that's just why I'm considering the Fjarnald's Fighting Spirit here. But for me, Pop the Bauble, such a great card, I think. And I think that's in general. Like, we had a few picks here that were on this theme, that there are cards that you will see again, and there are cards that you might not see again because they are just more rare than the commons, or it's not as it's a great pick for so many players, let's say, like the Helm. And I think Pop the Bobble, even though it's not a first pick for many, I think is a card that gets considered. And that's why I am picking it here. And I think that's a good rule of thumb, picking the cards that are really good and that you might not see again, and just getting an edge there, and passing cards that you maybe see later in the game when drafting again. Here, an interesting card for me again, Harvest Season in blue. I know it's not the best one, but I just like it because of the pitch. And there is also a Perennial Aether-Bloom in blue. I don't like the blue one as much. I mean, it blocks for 3, that's an upside, but I like the Earth character here more, so I'm picking that one. There is a Brush Off, and I have to say, Brush Off was played against me. I think that's a great card when going off against Wizard. But I don't like it in Verdance. I didn't end up playing it, and I have mixed feelings about this. Maybe I should have picked the Strong Yield in yellow. This could get me +2 attack, but it's also not the best pick, but that's just how it is in draft, right? You have to pick some cards here that are not optimal, and so I have went with Brush Off, because also it might be a potential pick for another player, maybe a Florian player, when he goes against me as Verdance, and then a Brush Off is just amazing against Verdance. So I'd rather pick Brush Off here and not end up playing it myself, rather than passing it and getting a yellow Etchics of Arcana, for example. I wouldn't really end up playing that card. So here, perfect for me. I thought, like, man, that's crazy. That's a card that I would pick earlier on if there are nothing, if there's nothing banger status in the pack. And so I thought, like, you know what, Photon Splicing, perfect. I'm happy with that. Getting off the amp during the game, I can pitch it. It's a blue one. Another card that I think is not that bad, actually, in blue, Trailblazing Aether. It costs 0, you can amp it. It's 2 arcane damage, and you can potentially get a go again, but I think it's more important that this card is blue and it blocks for 3. But definitely picking that one. I'm also passing a blue arcane, not really sure what the name of the card was again, but the card that gets additional attack value, and it's a blue Runeblade card, so I know that this card is a potential pick for my left draft partner. Curious on what I'm getting as my last card now. Guys, we are in only a third of the video, and I'm looking at the recording time. We have 23. Yeah, there is it, Arcanic Spike, sorry. And yeah. If you've dealt arcane damage this turn, this gets +2. So it's a 2 for 6 in yellow. So now off to the second pack. Oh no, we are reviewing, right. That's something that I forgot. I knew most of the cards that I picked, but we will go through this, and I think that is just that is just something. Oh, I think maybe when scribbing through the play, because sometimes there is some wait time, and I don't want to waste your time just waiting, so I scrubbed through it, and I think we have lost that yellow Fruits of the Forest. But that's just a sign again how much I valued Fruits of the Forest here. I'm not sure what was in the pack, sorry guys. But yeah, we have 2 Decomposers, we have the Helm, we have 2 Fruits of the Forest, Exploding Aether, 3 Fruits of the Forest. So I was happy with that here. But like I said, it's not bad at all, I think. It's not bad at all, but yeah, not to show off every Fruits of the Forest. You're also counting the blues. We have 4 blues, 5 blues, yellow one, and yeah, we have 2 red cards here. We have a Brush Off. We have another 2 blues. And yeah, I think that's not really too bad for me. I have enough Earth cards. I have Withered cards. I have no dead cards yet. Just the one Runeblade card that I've laid down. aside from my main picks. Now we're opening up the second pack. There's a Sanctuary. Yeah, amazing card. I love that LSS included this and made this a thing now for draft. And then we look at the pack here. We have a Flash, a Sigil of Yendal, a Fertile Ground in yellow. I don't like this card as much in yellow. If there's nothing else to pick, I may pick this, but I like it in red a lot. And there is, I think, the first card that really comes in clutch. There is a Runehold Arms here, another Fruits of the Forest, and as I said, you see a lot of Fruits of the Forest here, and so I wouldn't going forward playing another draft as highly value these Fruits of the Forest, and may look for other cards, but Blossoming Decay here, the Decompose in red, gain a life, potentially getting an arcane damage off, definitely the pick for me, definitely. Hit the High Notes in red is in here too. Oath of the Arknight in blue, so good Runeblade cards overall. Overflow the Aetherwell, not a card that I really like in Verdance, because I usually can't do anything with the two resources that it may gain me. But it's a 0/3 arcane, so if there's nothing else, also a consideration in my opinion. So now we are passing to the right. I'm getting cards from the left now. There's a Photon Splicing. There's an Arcane Polarity in the beginning, a red one, and I love the red ones. I think those are a great pick, just in general in Rosetta, because there's so much arcane damage running around. It can come in dead, I think, when running against Aurora sometimes, but it was the best pick for me, honestly. There's a red Strength of the Seasons here. I like the card, but I don't value it as high as Arcane Polarity here. I really want to pick the Strengths of 4 Seasons in my mind, and I remember it. There is also a Perennial Aether-Bloom, another great card, but the Arcane Polarity, there's not much running around of these in red, and so I think it's the best pick here, definitely, for me at least. Let me know, though, what you think about Strengths of 4 Seasons. Would you value this more? I mean, when it goes off, if you have Decomposed, it's a 2 for 8. That's crazy, right? But I like Arcane Polarity more, I have to say, because it also counters Florian when he has 8 rune chance, even if he has only 4, but you know how it goes with Florian, right? So it can just act as a really good card against all these rune charts that Florian is bringing up. So I thought Arcane Polarity is, for me, the safer call. It's also versatile in Verdance, right? If you have it and your opponent doesn't come off with a lot of rune charts or arcane damage, then you could also potentially play this on your turn, gain a life, and kill your opponent maybe if he has on 1, but that hadn't come up for me. But that is a case that I can think about. Also, both cards, amazing artwork here, I have to say. Perennial Aether-Bloom too. I think this set is super strong on the art side, just in general. But Arcane Polarity, definitely for me here. Let me know also down in the comments if you're still on. We are nearly 30 minutes in. If this is a kind of video that you like to see, should I change anything up? Maybe, we can, not really sure how I do this, but maybe for the next video, we can just replay it again. Make the replay faster. There's a vantage point, I'm looking at that, and when I upload the first draft, you will know why. But Aether Quickening in red is for me definitely the card. I love these 1/4 arcane damage cards, because arcane damage is just so crucial. I think it's even much more crucial than having a Strength of 4 Seasons, because it is so hard to deal with arcane damage. Even though there is some counterparts to arcane damage here in the set, you don't have Arcane Barrier. There are prevention effects there, but there are not that many, and there are not that many prevention effects that have a high count. So you won't see a lot of prevent for or just being able to prevent a lot of arcane damage. So prioritizing arcane damage is a thing to do. There is a Fëanor's Fighting Spirit in red here, another Aether Quickening, and as I said, another Helm. And that was so crazy. I thought, like, is this real? I really should have picked the Decompose in the beginning, but I don't think this is coming up that often, right? And I'm also, like, I wasn't really sure because I knew that my left draft partner will play Florian, and I thought, like, why is he not picking the helm? Did he also get a helm? I mean, I passed him one, but it's crazy. I thought, like, seeing 3 helms here. So I definitely picked the Aether Quickening. I mean, it's good. It's a good pick, yeah, but I would have been much happier if this was a well-grounded. But that's just how it goes in draft. You have to work with what you get and make the best out of the worst that you get. Yeah, there is a beer slammed on the table. Oh, man. Yeah. Rosetta, I have to say, I'm really in love with the set, and I really want to play more drafts. And the next draft set is coming in January. I really want to go to the pre-release, but I'm not 100% sure if I can make it there. Hood of Second Thoughts. Yeah, it's a funny card, right? But Arcane Twinning here in red, I'm highly considering that one. Harvest Season in yellow, but I think just Arcane Twinning in red here is the best card overall. Considering also I don't have a lot of red 0/4/3 Arcane damage cards in my deck yet. So definitely the pick for me. So far I think we're going good. And still there's so much to come, so I was super happy. There's another Photon Splicing. It's a yellow one again, so I don't love the yellow ones. But if there's nothing else in here, there is a red Strong Yield. And there's a Harvest Season in yellow, in blue. Sorry, guys. So these are my 3 considerations at first. There's the yellow Perennial Aether Bloom, but in general, just if I can pick something else than a yellow card, I will do it. Here for Verdant's Strong Yield, I was considering this, but then I thought, like, you know what? I passed Strengths of the 4 Seasons. I passed Fëanor's Fighting Spirit. I have some Decompose cards, but that's it. I can only play this with my Decompose cards. I can potentially leave this in the arsenal and pop it off when I have a card to go with it. Then it's amazing, I think. But overall, I thought, like, it's not the best for me here. And I knew both of my right draft partners were not, at least from my opinion, not considering Earth. So I was like, okay, I could pass this and even I'm taking the Harvest Season. Okay, so Harvest Season and blue, I have to say, yep, in the beginning when pitching they were great, and then I thought about playing them out in the late game. I didn't need to do that in my first 2 games, but in my 3rd game I came to the late game, and there was no space to play this out. And then just a bad card straight, because playing it out, gaining 1 life, okay, getting 1 arcane damage off, but it's not phenomenal, let's say it like that. Trailblazing Aether in a red, definitely a pick for me. Smash Up, I think, is interesting. There are 3 cards that disrupt the arsenal in Rosetta, and I love the inclusion of these cards. They make things spicy, and like I said, this would be a great target for a Strong Yield or 2. But usually when would I play this over a 0/4/3 or a 1/4/4 arcane damage? And so I'm very interested in your opinion now on Smash Up here. But there's the Trailblazing Aether, and I thought, like, this just goes so much more with my playstyle that I picked, pitching blues in the beginning, amping my 0/4/3s to 0/4/4, or my 1/4/4s over with 1/4/5, getting a potential embodiment of Earth, and this doesn't work with Smash Up. So I valued consistency here over the Arsenal disruption. But still, great artwork too. Love it. Considering here. yeah, picking the Trailblazing Aether. I think, I can roll here. Okay, maybe this is something we can do. We can just roll a little bit with the mouse here. Count your blessings. I think we saw one count your blessings already, and that came up in the draft. Everybody laughed, but potentially when you're Verdance, I'm not sure, maybe it's even a very good strategy to just pick count your blessings during the game. And even this is a red one, so this is a potential really, really good card when you have 3 or 4 count your blessings, and that was possible in this draft. I'm not sure if this is a viable strategy in every draft, but Fruits of the Forest again, Strength of the Four Seasons again. Guys, Arcane Twinning is a card that I'm considering, but I'm picking the Fruits of the Forest. I was highly, highly going on these Fruits of the Forest, and I think I lost because I got so heavy on these Fruits of the Forest. I should have picked Strength of the Four Seasons here, maybe, over Fruits of the Forest. Because it's just, when you think about it, when you don't want to discard Strength of the Four Seasons and you compare it, so the red one, I think the red one is a better consideration even to play it out. It's a 3 for 7 in that case. And there, then the Strength of the Four Seasons is just a better math, right? It's 2 for 8 in the end. Yeah. So, here I think there's a little bit of waiting time. I'm just scrolling. We have the Sanctuary already. So there is a Vertical Ground. Overflow the Aether. Like I said, it's 0 for 3. And I have to say, coming back to that arcane damage, that is so crucial. And I think I will pick Fruits of the Forest here again. I mean, like, yes, with Verdance especially, you're getting Fruits of the Forest off on your hero ability. It's still technically 0 for 3, right? You're dealing 1 arcane damage and gaining 2 life. But you're not dealing 3 arcane damage to your opponent. You're only dealing 1 arcane damage. And Overflow, the Aether Well, does 3 arcane damage. And it also blocks 3. So I think in that case here, I had a lot of Fruits of the Forest already. And so I definitely should have picked Overflow the Aether Well. But I think I will not. That is a mistake in my opinion. A big mistake here, in my draft at least. So I think, when we look at the games, guys, we will see this. There is another Count Your Blessings. Like I said, if I just would have picked the red and the yellow, I should always, I just have 2. And then that would be 6 life gain already. And like I said, Count Your Blessings is a rare. Photon Splicing here, a yellow one. The Vertical Ground in blue, I don't like it in blue. So I think Photon Splicing in yellow is the pick for me here. And like, as you see, in this case especially, I think Count Your Blessings wouldn't really be that bad. Considering Strong Yield here in blue, don't know what I'm thinking there. Yeah. Sigil of Deadwood. I watched the interview with Lucas as he won the calling with Rosetta Draft, and he was like, Sigil of Deadwood is just crazy with Florian. And I think I will agree here with him. I don't have that much experience like Lucas, but it was nice to see the interview, and shoutouts, Lucas, to you. So Photon Splicing here for me is the pick. I don't like the 1 for 3 on the yellow, just don't like it. Paying 1 for 3 arcane damage. Another vantage point. I think this is even the one that we had in the beginning, and I was like, guys, this is crazy. There's nothing really for me here. Maybe the sigil, but I was like, okay. In this case, honestly, I just picked the vantage point, and maybe, how do you say it? Save myself here. There's an Oath of the Arcanate. Maybe Sigil of Earth would be a pick for me here, but I played it in my first draft this week, and it didn't really come up that well for me. Honestly, it didn't really come up that well. And I already have a lot of good blues in my deck, so I picked Oath of the Arcanate here. A great card for Runeblade. Great card for Runeblade, actually. So just scrolling, and as you can see, sometimes it takes a little bit of time in the draft. And my last, there's 2 cards again. So I think there was a mistake somewhere in the draft. So I picked the Harvest Season in yellow. Not sure if I want to play that, but then Open the Floodgates comes in. And I think, especially here that I get this card at last, Open the Floodgates, when the window is getting away here. Open the Floodgates in blue especially, I think, is such an interesting card. In red, of course, it does 3 arcane damage, so it's more offensive, but the search effect here is interesting, I think. I didn't play it out, but I just theoretically thought Open the Floodgates in blue is interesting because when you amp it up and it deals more than 1 damage, you draw 2 cards and you get a potential arsenal off of it. That is why I was like, okay, I take this card as my last card here from the second pack. Very interesting for me. As I said, didn't turn out. That's why I just was, yeah. So yeah, we go again through the picks here. Yeah, like I said, a lot of Fruits of the Forest and ended up being too many. We have 3 Decomposers now, so I'm potentially looking for another one and maybe even a 5th one if that is possible. But yeah, realistically speaking, there might even be not another Decompose, and that's what I was afraid of. So I saw Harvest Season a lot. I saw Fruits of the Forest, and I think, yeah, that we have a lot of Earth cards, guys. But like I said, it would have been better in the end to not pick that many Fruits of the Forest. The deck is all Fruits of the Forest. More 0 for 3 Arcane would have been good. Count Your Blessings, I think, would have even been better than Fruits of the Forest, considering I mainly want to use Fruits of the Forest in the end game to discard it and gain 2. Count Your Blessings in yellow, and so having 2 Count Your Blessings, 1 in yellow, 1 in red here, would even be better than having a yellow and a red Fruits of the Forest. Yeah, the other picks, I think they are great picks in here. 2 Aether Quickening in red, amazing, and that it came in clutch really in my games. I even did a combo with Aether Quickening and the Trailblaze, no, the one that gives you 3 amp. And that's crazy, guys. And then you get to go again. Potentially, you can throw off another attack afterwards. There's a red Harvest Season. Love that. But then there's a Fertile Ground in red. And I love to see that card. Another blue Photon Splicing. No equipment, sadly. I would have loved to pick a Well-Grounded here. But definitely for me, Fertile Ground here, going into Verdance is awesome. It gains you 5 life. Of course, you need 2 resources to play it out. But you know what? I'm happy to pay that. You can take 5 damage. I'm not sure if that was too loud, sorry guys. You can take 5 damage here. Then in your turn, play out Fertile Ground, gain 5 life and deal 1 arcane damage. Yeah, I love that card. I love that card in red. When going in Verdance. I'm not sure about Florian, honestly. And that is what I noticed in my 3 drafts, at least, that Fertile Ground was passed to me. Not in this one, not in this draft, but in the 2, or at least in the first. Yeah, Fertile Ground wasn't valued by other players. So I'm scrolling. There is the second. So there's a red Fry, another red Exploding Aether, another great Runeblade equipment, and I'm like, oh my god, like this Florian next to me will be so busted. He will have everything in his equipment suit, and I will only have this helm. Trailblazing Aether, Etchings of Arcana. There's another Arsenal Disruption card, Tongue-Tied. So I saw 2 Arsenal Disruptions already. Definitely a good card against me if I have a Fertile Ground in my arsenal that I want to play out on my turn and not on the opponent's turn. Yeah, Tongue-Tied is great. Then my opponent saves herself from the arcane damage that I get off from playing Fertile Ground on my turn. Etchings of Arcana, Exploding Aether, that's the card with the 3 amp, and Trailblazing Aether. So these are my 3 considerations here. I like Trailblazing Aether much more than Etchings of Arcana because I don't play sigils. So I take that one, but I also honestly think if I would have had more 0 for 3 arcane damage cards in my deck already, I may even have picked the Exploding Aether in this case. I think that's just a double-edged sword, right? In Verdance, you want to get as much arcane damage as possible, but then you need to play Decompose, and when you don't have a Rootbound Carapace, then you are playing Decompose on the offense side, and then Exploding Aether is not that great to have that card in the turn where you're playing that offensive Decompose card. And there is my 4th Decompose card, and it's such a great one for me. I love it. Blossoming Decay again. It's a foil one even in red, and I'm like, that's great. It has a Fertile Ground. Then there's also another Aether Quakening in red. I'm like, this pack is crazy for me. I really want to pick 3 cards here, but yeah, there's also Splintering Deadwood, or what is the card called? This one here, the red one, Runeblade. It's crazy when it gets played against me. But I can't pass the Decompose, guys. As much as I would love to pick Aether Quakening here, I have to take the Decompose. It's just too crucial for the deck to function. I don't really need to pick a 5th Decompose card, but I'm not sure if there's one coming. I'm even happy that this got passed to me, and that is due to my right partners, not really playing Earth. That is pretty clear at this point, I think. Otherwise, there would have not been that much Decompose. Open the Floodgates in red, Perennial Aether Bloom. Save the Thought again, but it's a blue one. Aether Quickening in yellow. Like I said, the yellow ones are not that great, even when you have a 0 for 3 here. Autumn's Touch in red, but not for me, even though I'm considering it, but the 0 for 3 Arcane is much more important for me here. Yeah, Save the Thought, like I said, in blue is not really viable in my opinion. So let's just scrub forward. We have another Strong Yield. There is the 3rd Arsenal Disruption, and this one targets non-attack actions, I believe. Yeah, I think Pop the Bauble here is in blue, and I think I end up picking that one because, getting another blue, having the Destroy effect is great. Like I said, I wasn't really expecting to see another Pop the Bauble here. Either my right draft partners don't value Pop the Bauble, or they're not playing Wizard. So maybe they're playing, Aurora, but we ended up only having 1 Aurora and 3 Osilios. Yeah, so we have another Fruits of the Forest. I mean, you can count it. I'm not sure how many Fruits of the Forest came through, but yeah, I shouldn't have really picked Fruits of the Forest that early on that often. Aether Quickening in blue is even a consideration for me, but I think, at this point, Fruits of the Forest is the best for me. It would have been even greater if I didn't have that many Fruits of the Forest. I just love the artwork between. I just love it. Arcane Twinning also with the Amp 1, a consideration for me. But I think a yellow Earth card is even okay in Verdance, because you can also pitch a yellow Earth card and then pitch a blue one to it. Get the staff off, get the... so you can pitch a blue that is not an Earth, right? So that's why I'm pointing out the yellow Earth cards. That's a thing. Open the Floodgates again. Strong Yield again. So at this point, I know there was 3 Strong Yields in red. If I have picked 2 of those, I could have also gone in the opposite direction and, valued offensive physical damage cards more. Etchings of Arcana is in here in blue. I'm not sure if I end up taking the Strong Yield. I'm definitely considering one. I know the Florian to my left side was playing Strong Yield in our final game against me, and it came in clutch. But not sure. Yeah, I take it. So there were a lot of red Strong Yields in this pool. Arcane Twinning in blue, I love it. Definitely taking that one. Consuming Volition, a great card I think for Runeblade and red here. We are coming to the end. Here. 8 minutes to go. Let me know if you're still on. Like, I really enjoy this video, making this video, learning a lot. I think I need to find. I think it is possible, definitely, to just play this at a faster speed. So yeah, we have a little bit of weight. Another vantage point, and I think like seeing that many vantage points, I was really scared. There is an Earth form in yellow. I don't like Earth form, to be honest. in Verdance. I played a red one in my first draft, and there were just other arcane damage cards that were much more usable for me than playing Earth one. Sigil of Earth here, Strength of 4 Seasons, and I think even the blue one is great. A blue one that, attacks for 6 only by paying 2 resources, I think is nice, and I end up taking it. So let's just move a little bit faster forward. Dim. So we are still waiting. Still waiting. When is the next pick come? There it is. Another red Fertile Ground, and that's what I was saying. Definitely other players in my local area don't value Fertile Ground in red. Either they're not playing Verdance or they are just straight up ignoring it. But I think that is one of the best cards that you can play in Verdance. There's also the Runaways, and like I said, I didn't get to pick any other equipments. I could have picked 1 Runaways in the beginning, but the pack was just not a Runaways pack. And then there was the Inkcloaked, the chest piece for Wizard, but that was also like not optimal for my playstyle. So Runaways would have been, a pick here if there wasn't a Vertical Ground, and the Vertical Ground is just the best pick here. A great pick in my opinion. Great pick. Love to see it. So considering Runaways even, but it's just too obvious for me. I can't pick Runaways. And that is a thing, right? That's why I love to make this video, because I think it's so crucial to talk about this process that you have while drafting, because in the situations, we are chilling here now, right? It's like, okay, we look at it and we have time and we have all the information and stuff. And then in the draft, it's like you have to remember everything. You have to keep count of everything. You need to stay calm. You need to relax some way to pick the right cards. You need to be okay with picking some bad cards, gaining some bad cards because bad cards are being passed over to you. And here, hit the high notes, Sigil of Deadwood in this pack, Fëanor's Fighting Spirit. For me, it's a consideration to play Fëanor's Fighting Spirit. That's why I'm picking that, but I also could have picked Sigil of Deadwood, I think. Sigil of Deadwood, even knowing that my left partner is playing Florian, is just such a powerhouse to give away here in the end. But let me know what you would have done in this. And there's another blue Strong Yield, Strength of 4 Seasons. Obvious for me, Strength of 4 Seasons. Maybe getting the upside in the end when pitching it and having 4 Murph cards in my banish zone. But it didn't end up. I didn't end up playing a blue, I think. Maybe in my last game. But yeah, here's an Arcane Cussing and a blue Wizard card. I happily picked that because it has also 3 block value. Love that on Wizard. So I'm not sure why I didn't get a last card, honestly. A lot of Fruits of the Forest. It's a decent deck, don't get me wrong, it's a great deck. 2 Fertile Ground, but when we look at the games that I've recorded for this, then we will analyze a little bit about what I could have done better. I think we will do at least 1 or 2 gameplay analysis videos, and then maybe I do another roundup video after I've also uploaded the second draft pick video, and then talk about what I want to optimize in my next draft when picking and potentially playing again Verdance, guys. I really want to play again a draft and play Verdance. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in today's video. I loved to do this video with you. Like I said, subscribe to the channel when you want to see more of this kind of content. Definitely leave a like on the video. That would make me smile and also help the algorithm to find this video and recommend it to other players. And we see us in the next video.